Pokemon Sun and Moon took a crazy turn with the most recent trailer. I was not expecting any of the gameplay updates or whatever is happening right here. So, whatever this thing is, a mysterious presence threatens the Alola region, Marshadow Ultra Beast. So, what are Ultra Beasts? Like, that is the craziness right now that everyone is trying to figure out, and it's like, oh, what? That looks familiar. Like, what does this have to do with Lillie? So a lot of people are saying, like, it is Lillie. I don't think that it necessarily is, but there's a lot of information that starts bringing this together that gets really weird. So in the Alola region, rumors are flying about mysterious creatures known as Ultra Beasts. Ultra Beasts possess mighty powers and can pose a threat to humans and Pokemon, so they are feared. It appears that the Aether Foundation is also conducting research on these Ultra Beasts. According to rumor, multiple Ultra Beasts exist, each of them called by a code name. Now, when I was watching the trailer live, I completely butchered the name. Like, I wasn't ready for all the naming stuff we had. We had Jangmo O, and we also had Type Null. I wasn't ready for a colon inside of my Pokemon names, and then there's a dash, so UB01. Well, it actually stands for Ultra Beast 1, because remember guys, there's a rumor that there's multiple Ultra Beasts, and normally when there's an official thing that says rumor, it's just something like kind of keep the mysteriousness about it, but there's going to be more of these things, especially because classification is 01. So, first off, this thing is creepy, and we get to see a lot of how creepy it is in the trailers. So, Japanese trailer, once we get over Remy from Ratatouille here, just talking about, like, fat rat Pokemon that like good food and apparently are really utilized by chefs and stuff, we can see this. Now, this is where it's like, what is going on? Crazy dimensional portal, and then this thing just kind of like creeps its way out. Like, what is this going on? It's so weird. And then it just kind of hangs out right there. Now, what I don't understand is we got, like, I believe less going on in the, it was a lot less going on in the English trailer. So it just kind of like does this thing, almost has like a battle cry, shakes around a bit, and then we're good to go. Now, first looking at it, yeah, it does have this appearance sharing with Lillie, mostly on the hat and like the long hair kind of idea. But when we read this, it gets weird. So, UB01's body is composed of a glass-like substance. However, it's constantly changing shapes, never settling on one. Therefore, it just looks like this because it wants to, for the most part. While evidence of something like a survival instinct can be observed in UB01, no one knows whether it has a will of its own or any emotions. It's said that for some reason, its movements resemble those of a young girl. And that was like the one, like, so everyone was like talking about this whole Lillie thing, and I don't think anyone was really reading off of the website. You know, they just kind of said, oh, it looks like Lillie, looks like Lillie. Well, for some reason, it resembles those movements of a young girl. That's kind of weird, but also, it has changing shapes. So that's what just makes it so creepy. It does its own thing, and it has like some kind of girly little dainty jellyfish as it drifts around. And another thing that actually sounds terrifying from like just a survival standpoint is like this, you know, we don't know if it has any will of its own or any emotions. It just like shows a survival instinct. So it's kind of like a jellyfish that is not aware of what it's stinging, what it's attacking, you know, it's just out to survive. And I think a beast with no emotions, you know, I think that's another thing to observe in these, that they're not referred to as Pokemon in any way, that these are separate entities. It almost feels like something out of like a spin-off Pokemon game where there's a new threat that isn't Pokemon related, that is in its own classification, and that's kind of worrying. Like, this thing is ominous enough to pose a real threat, and when we see it in the trailer, like, that's creepy. It almost possesses like legitimate fear and threat as you can kind of watch how things unfold. You know, you're sitting there, dimensional rift opens up out of nowhere. This thing just kind of, it doesn't come out aggressively. I think that's the weird thing about it. It's very patient. At the same time, you're like, is it going to decide it to attack me? Is it going to do its own thing? Like, I want to know how we're going to stop that. The storyline is suddenly going to get next level. But then Lillie adds another part to this. Lillie is a mysterious girl. Alright, keeping it mysterious. Let's go. who assists the professor. This young girl is about the same age as your character. She's working with Professor Kukui's she's working as Professor Kukui's assistant for personal reason. She's not fond of making Pokemon fight in battles, but she loves reading and has devoured many books. Lillie will play an important role in the story of Pokemon Sun and Moon. So we have a mysterious girl that plays a role in Pokemon Sun and Moon, while we're talking about the Ultra Beasts that resemble those of a young girl with like the same kind of hat and flowy hair and stuff. So I'm not saying that it is Lillie, but I'm trying to figure out what could happen with what's going on here. Like, I'm trying to piece together the story, but I think that's one of the weirdest things about all the information we're getting. Every time we get a news drop from Pokemon, it seems like it's going to spoil way too much, but we still have no idea. Like, this builds up to the story. Now I'm interested in what's going on. More so, I think if I just experienced this in game, it wouldn't have as much weight as like seeing the trailer, seeing the build up. It's kind of like a movie trailer, you know? A well done movie trailer will get you hype and also interested for the story, not just, you know, show all the best jokes, to show all the good action scenes. So then the Aether Foundation adds to this as well. The Foundation is to care for Pokemon that have been hurt. Well, Lillie isn't fond of Pokemon battles, you know, she's not fond of Pokemon fighting and stuff, and the Aether Foundation is kind of on that tier. It's not like super in-level Pokemon need to be free or something, but at least protecting them from people that want to do wrong to Pokemon. The Aether Foundation has constructed an artificial island called the Aether Paradise. There, they not only provide shelter for Pokemon, but also conduct various research projects. It seems that the main character will also be able to visit the Aether Paradise during their adventure. Yeah, we see that at some point in the trailer when we visit the Aether Foundation. Yeah, like, that looks like cool, big island thing going on right here. And talk about Pokemon. Just as the name suggests, Aether Paradise is a floating artificial island made by human technology for protecting Pokemon. And even then, like, I think at some point you can actually see outside into the Aether Paradise, and boom. So yep, there's the Aether Foundation right there. Now, I'm wondering if Game Freak was like intentionally trying to play us the entire time. Because when they first showed the map of the Alola, you're like, oh yeah, this is island, 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 Elite Four. No, the Aether Paradise is actually something completely different. And can I just zoom in? Yeah, so we've known about this little guy, this little place for a while. But it's cool to actually see how it works. So yeah, they're like stationed on a floating island, middle of Alola region. I guess they dispatch out whenever they hear that shenanigans are going down. And they're taking care of Pokemon while also conducting research on the Ultra Beast. And it doesn't seem like, from the trailer, you might think like, oh, they done goofed and they accidentally summoned, or maybe they're like they're intentionally trying to summon the Ultra Beast to study them. But no, it looks like this thing just comes out of a crazy rift on its own accord, and there's not like technology or machinery around as though they're conducting research on it. It just happens. Everyone's like, oh crap. Yeah, see, it doesn't seem like there's anything unnatural about what's happening here. That these things, I'm very, very concerned as to what could happen right here. So then we can go and reset the zoom. So Aether Foundation, you have Lusamine. The lovely Lusamine functions as the Aether Foundation's president. Faba, Aether Foundation's branch chief, sports. Okay, the grammar there kind of threw me off. The Aether Foundation's branch chief, so he's a branch chief, sports green glasses. They're his signature accessory. He seems very proud of his position as branch chief. Okay, that works. We have Wick, the assistant branch chief of the Aether Paradise, is a caring personality, so she's loved by all Aether Foundation employees. And then we have Aether Foundation employees that just go run about making sure everything is okay. The employees of the Aether Foundation shelter and care for Pokemon. Their uniforms appear to depend on which division they belong to. So, different divisions. I don't know if it's going to be like division per island, division per Pokemon species, whatever specifics it is. But they go out, they help things, and there we go. Now, when I first saw Gladion, I didn't know if he was actually a part of the Aether Foundation. It might have actually been shown that he's like the Team Skull member whenever this pops up. But yeah, they showed all this Team Aether stuff and they went straight to him. I'm like, is he like some kind of like crazy leader, bro? Oh my god. Every time I see the skull, oh, never mind. Team Skull Enforcers. I didn't read that. Yeah. Well, I did the live thing. So Gladion also is really interesting because he has type Null, and type Null is showing to be a pretty ridiculous Pokemon. So the whole dynamic here between like Team Null, or not Team Null, but between Team Aether and Team Skull, well, not even Team Aether, just the Aether Foundation Team Skull, it is going to be very interesting. As we can see, they do have those interactions. Like, every time I see the Team Skull members going and doing their hood thug motions right here, it seems pretty intense, you know? Team Skull give back that Pokemon. Slowbro doesn't care. He's like, we're gonna sell this Pokemon, get rich, and won't make no bones about it, yo. I just like how much of wannabe thugs all these guys are. And then we go into Gladion. So there's going to be a lot of things in play right now. I'm wondering, you know, if Team Skull is actually like just trying to make a quick buck by harassing people and stealing Pokemon, or if they're actually like trying to control the Ultra Beast, which is why Pokemon like Type Null exists, even though Type Null seems to have been created for a different reason. We don't have much else information. You know, Gladion was actually added to the Team Skull page for Pokemon. This young man lends his strength to Team Skull as an enforcer. He places high value on being strong in Pokemon battles. His partner Pokemon is the mysterious Type Null. Doesn't get much else information about like Plumeria and Guzma. So suddenly adding Gladion, it seems like the whole idea of Team Skull has shifted. Like, Guzma doesn't seem like that bad of a guy. He just seems like a crazy villain, but not someone that's evil. I wouldn't say Gladion is evil, but he seems very, I don't even know, cold in a way that's driven for some kind of secret plan that we don't really know about. Just anyone that owns Type Null in the story seems like they're up to no good for some reason. And then we have to go back to the Ultra Beast. Like, are we going to get more Ultra Beast reveals? Like, are they just going to show us UB01 and be like, oh yeah, by the way, wait, game's out in 2 months, see you then, and then we'll figure out the story. Like, how big is the storyline going to be? Because you look at this, it's like, Trial Captain clear, rush down the island, rush down the island, rush down the island, and leave 4. That's what you kind of see initially, but no, it's going to be well beyond that for sure. I think the first island's going to be pretty fast, but then the storyline's just going to crumble into that. And what about, like, yo guys, we still have to think about Solgaleo and Lunala. Remember, there's legendaries at some point in the game that we are going to have something to do with. So, like, that looks like the legendary pillar over here. I think I can zoom in again. Yeah, like, that looks like where we're going to catch or summon the legendaries or something like that. Everything else seems a little straightforward. We already see in the trailer something about this town, so maybe this is the second island, something that we encounter fairly early on. And then, like, okay, Team Aether Foundation, but we have Team Skull, and we have to fight all of these guys all over the place. So it's going to be very interesting. I'm actually really excited for the game right now. As for the mysteries of what's going on, I honestly don't think we have enough information to really figure out. So, like, oh, Lillie, is that confirmed? Shape-shifting, things like that. Oh my goodness. I think she might have something to do with. Maybe she is a part of Team Aether in a way, or the Aether Foundation in a way, and she's decided to help Kukui for her own personal reasons that will be figured out. And because that, maybe she was a part of an experience that was researching the Ultra Beast, and then the Ultra Beast 01 took a fondness to her because it's a delicate jellyfish, and now she has to kind of hide that, as like dip out for a bit while the heat dies down or something. So if you guys enjoyed the video, hope you all have a nice day. Thank you very much for watching.